Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk Chicago. My name's Jon Zaghloul. Great to have you here on Channel 59.3 BPOD TV and Roku. Big news. Mitch Trubisky has signed a contract. 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll break it all down in just a moment. Before we get started, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you want to watch more of this show, search up Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or go to sportstalkchicago.com. If you want to watch more shows from the BPOD TV network, search up BPOD TV on YouTube. I want to start today with this. Sweet vindication. For years, I've told you about Mitch, told you about what he could do in the NFL. A lot of you have said, Jon, who cares, right? Why are you so obsessed with Mitch Trubisky? Who cares? Move on. He sucks. You know what? Tell that to Mitch Trubisky himself. Tell him to move on from being run out of Chicago, being treated horribly by the fan base, being blamed for problems by Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, and having his career tarnished. Not just hurt, tarnished. I can't even believe he said nothing about Nagy, about Pace, about what the Bears did to him. Kudos to him for doing that, being the bigger man. I wouldn't be able to hold it in. He was the scapegoat for what went wrong here in Chicago. See, everybody wants to forget about it. Okay, hey, we have Brian Poles and Matt Eberflus. Who cares about that past? I do. I care about it. An innocent quarterback who's been slandered by the local and national media and fans deserves vindication. Deserves a chance to show off who he really is. I find it so funny, too. The Mitch Trubisky bandwagon is out of this world. I've seen people who roasted Mitch, who turn around now and say, hey, great signing, good for Mitch. All of you, everybody who's criticized him, who's hurt him, who's a part of running him out of town, who comments bad on social media and forces him to not post anything on social media, all of you should apologize today for what you've done to him. I don't care if it's unpopular. It's true. All of you who played a role in pushing him out of Chicago and hurting him and his family should apologize today. I have no regrets saying that. Might not be popular. Maybe national media, local media doesn't want to talk about it. I will. Everybody mocking Mitch. Oh, he's the MVP. MVP. Right. You know what? You want to sit there and mock him and make fun of him? Go ahead. Go ahead. He's going to show you what he's made of in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers today signed Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year deal. It is expected that he will be the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh come next season. Talked to a Pittsburgh Steelers fan today, somebody I know very near and dear. He told me fans are happy that it's not Mason Rudolph. They wanted anybody but Mason Rudolph and, ironically enough, Jimmy Garoppolo. So Pittsburgh Steelers fans preferred Mitch Trubisky to Jimmy G, even. Everybody's favorite guy to talk about in San Francisco, who apparently is so much better than Mitch, when I've said for years this guy's a high-tech Mitch Trubisky. And nothing more. And more injury-prone, too. We're going to be talking about facts here. So Steelers fans are happy. Bears bandwagon fans are supposedly happy. It's pretty funny how a narrative shifts. Oh, I remember that fateful press conference after the 2020 season. I did a video on it. Quote from Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, "We need better play at the quarterback position." I memorized the quote. I have it in my head. We need better play at the quarterback position. Really? That's what you need, huh? And you go and sign Andy Dalton, you draft Justin Fields, and nothing is different except for the fact that you are fired. You are gone. Huh, so was it the quarterback, or was it Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace? And now we sit here today, and Mitch Trubisky's getting a payday. He's starting somewhere else. That's what I want to say, too. Oh, my goodness. I need to make sure I get this out there. For all of you who say Mitch Trubisky is not a starting quarterback, not starting caliber, bust of a quarterback, guess what? He has a starting job. And don't give me the BS about, the market or, bad draft class. The fact is, there's a team out there, and there were multiple teams interested, who wanted him to start. He is good enough to be a starting quarterback. Sorry. I'll take 24 touchdowns, 12 picks, 95.4 passer rating all day long. That is not mediocre for a quarterback by any stretch. Right, he's not a good enough starting quarterback. Give me a break. In the right system, like in Pittsburgh, 15th to 20th best in the NFL. No question. There's still people today who say, give up on Mitch. Who cares? It's over. He sucks. Really? Didn't know a 95.4 passer rating sucked. Didn't know a 12-4 record sucked. Didn't know a 29-21 record overall with the Bears sucked. Didn't know that. You will all see. Everybody will see. I can't wait till he starts next year and kills it. Right? He's supposed to. Good running game, Najee Harris. Great coach, Mike Tomlin. I love Mike Tomlin. Great defense. The team is perfect for him. You know what? Ben Roethlisberger sucked last year. He sucked the past 2 or 3 years, to be honest. You're actually getting an upgrade in Mitch Trubisky. And the expectations, to me, should be high. They should make the playoffs this year. They made it last year with Big Ben in his last year. They should make it this year with Mitch Trubisky starting. Now, if Mitch completely blows it, which I guess is possible to an extent, well, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. But I don't see that happening, and here's why. Even with the Bears, with Matt Nagy working against him, he was never mediocre. Even the year he was benched in 2020, 16 touchdowns, 8 picks. I don't get that. I don't get the narrative surrounding some quarterbacks. Carson Wentz, another too. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. Oh, yeah, he sucks. I mean, give me a break. And Mitch Trubisky, the same thing. Mitch is not a bad quarterback. Jamarcus Russell, bad quarterback. Nathan Peterman, bad quarterback. Yes, 5 picks and 1 half. Yes, very bad. Mitch Trubisky? No. Not even close to that level. Ryan Leaf, bad quarterback. Jimmy Clausen, bad quarterback. We could go on and on and on. Brady Quinn, bad quarterback. All the quarterbacks drafted by the Browns, bad quarterback. Mitch Trubisky does not fall into that category. You have to correct yourself here. A bust is not putting up a 95 passer rating as a winning record. Kirk Cousins just got paid more money. He's made $230 million in his career for a 500 record. Mitch Trubisky's a winner. And everybody roasts him. And hurts his career. The public perception surrounding Mitchell Trubisky is a farce. And that's contributed a lot to why he doesn't have a starting job until now. Had Matt Nagy not done what he did, had his name not been tarnished here in Chicago by media, by fans, by coaches, he'd already be starting somewhere else. There have been worse quarterbacks who started a game in 2021 compared to Mitch. And that's a fact. Sam Darnold, Cam Newton, P.J. Walker. The Panthers quarterback room is all worse than Mitch. There are teams who have serious quarterback problems. And they claim, no, they're fine. Mitch Trubisky's better in some cases. Certainly better than Mason Rudolph. And that's what Steelers fans are telling me today. They are happy it's not Mason Rudolph. They wanted anybody but Rudolph and, again, ironically enough, Jimmy Garoppolo. They're happy. They believe Mitch Trubisky's better for their team than Jimmy G, even. That should tell you something. That should tell you a lot, actually. I'm so happy for Mitch. Just so excited for him. I'm not talking about from the bandwagon perspective or even a revenge type perspective. I'm saying for him and his family. You do realize if you look on Mitch Trubisky's latest Instagram post or Twitter post, you got people here from Chicago still killing him about it. Still blaming him for what happened. Still commenting saying you suck. That's personal. Posted a picture of him and his wife and, they're going to have a kid. There are hate comments on that post. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm happy he's going to go somewhere where hopefully he's appreciated. If he wins, if he does good, he will be appreciated by Pittsburgh. You know why? They're a hell of a fan base. They care about their players. They treated Big Ben well for how many years? He's finally going to go somewhere where they actually care about him. It's a 2-year deal, too. 2-year deal. Mason Rudolph's the only other quarterback. He's going to be starting. Even Adam Schefter said, as of right now, he will start. He is the apparent starter. That's amazing. Good for him. Here's what Trubisky had to say, too. Quote, I'm beyond excited and blessed for the opportunity to be a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. I have tremendous respect for the Rooney family and Coach Tomlin. They have built one of the best rosters in football, and I can't wait to contribute and help this team continue their success. Boom. Boom. He's right. All of that is correct. The Rooney family, Tomlin, the Steelers, storied history. 10 times better than the Bears. 10 times better. They're going to enjoy having Mitch over there. They have a great run game. I mean, their game is perfect for Trubisky. Dependent on running the football, great defense. It's similar to the Bears, actually, but the running back's very good, Najee Harris. Somewhat same to better defense. I think it's going to work great. And guess what? He has a coach that won't sabotage him. Mitch is going to turn into a fine quarterback, probably, which I made this comparison the other day, to Alex Smith. Alex Smith was run out of San Francisco, deemed a bust. They put in Colin Kaepernick over him at the time. He left, went to KC, turned into a decent quarterback. And now today, when you talk about Alex Smith, nothing but positivity. Seriously, nothing but positivity for Alex Smith, for the most part. I firmly believe the same is coming for Mitch Trubisky. He will completely turn around his career, put up respectable numbers in Pittsburgh, maybe lead them to playoff appearance, potentially a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, I would hope everybody forgets about what happened to him here in Chicago. Or if anything, we see people apologize and say, I take it back. I hope everybody does. And if you're wondering, if you're still watching, and you're wondering why I have an obsession with Mitch Trubisky, it's not that I have an obsession. It's that I still have bitterness in my heart for the way he was treated. For the way he was run out of town. That's why. Yeah, I took it personally a little bit. This is some young kid trying to make his way in the NFL. You got a coach who did sabotage him. There's proof. Kevin Fishbane, Adam Johns of The Athletic. That's a mainstream media report that talks about it. He was a guy who, unfortunately, was drafted too high. He couldn't control that. And he had to play against and compete with Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Good luck. That's tough. But you know what? He's not a horrible quarterback. His standards were too high, number one. Number two, he was sabotaged. And there's proof right there. We have an article. It's been out for months now about this. And what does he get in return for all that that's happened to him behind the scenes? Well, constant hatred, can't even post on social media, being made fun of and mocked repeatedly by even people in the NFL, even NFL social media accounts. I remember this. Draft Day last year, ESPN. They're doing their intro. And they say, oh, you could pick a quarterback that'll help out your team or hurt you. Who did they show for hurting you? Mitch Trubisky. He did not hurt the Bears. 2 playoff appearances, 4 years, winning quarterback. He did not hurt the Bears. Jamarcus Russell hurt the Raiders. Ryan Leaf hurt the Chargers. Mitch Trubisky? Really? No. This is why I have such an affinity. He's been slandered by the national media, been slandered to an extent by local media, and especially by the fan base, especially. This is some innocent kid. He's a quarterback. There's been lesser criticism for worse quarterbacks in the NFL. He's gotten way too much heat for producing, putting up numbers, winning. That's why I got a problem with anybody who comes after him. And that's why now I'm going to rant about this and talk about it. So there you go. For those of you wondering, why do I have such an obsession with Mitch Trubisky? It's because he's been unfairly treated in the NFL. And he deserves a second chance. Now he's getting one. And this proves that he's not a bad quarterback. One of the 32 teams in the NFL determined he's good enough to start for them. To me, that's all that matters. He's not good enough to be a starter. He's over the hill. He's a bust. Well, obviously not. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers, that Pittsburgh Steelers, the storied organization in the NFL, decided he was good enough to start for them, to be the successor to Ben Roethlisberger, a surefire Hall of Famer. That's an honor. That's an honor. They could have picked Mason Rudolph. They chose not to. They picked Mitch Trubisky. They may draft somebody else. There might be a competition, but as of today, it has been reported he's going to be the apparent starter for next year and the year after, potentially. That's an outstanding move. And that proves to everybody, it should, that he is good enough to be a starter. Sorry. As much as it pains you, you can just say you're wrong. I said it. Said it about Matt Eberflus. Came out with another video, said I was wrong. You can say it too. You're wrong. Mitch Trubisky's not a bad quarterback. The way he was run out of here to this day hurts me. This has nothing to do with Justin Fields. I don't hate on Justin Fields because of Mitch Trubisky's sake. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they're two separate people, but Mitch Trubisky, the way he was run out of town, was wrong. You have to admit it now. This guy's getting paid to be the starter for the Pittsburgh frickin' Steelers. And he was blamed in 2020 solely for the reason why the Bears didn't go anywhere. Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace said it was his fault. Come on. Really? It wasn't his fault. You cannot sit here and tell me with a straight face it was Mitch Trubisky the reason why the Bears didn't succeed or didn't elevate themselves. No. Ryan Pace gave out too many bad contracts. Matt Nagy sabotaged him. Both of them fired. They're the ones who ran the Bears into the ground, not Mitch. Look, I'm just happy for the guy. I really am. I wish him nothing but the best. I wish him so much success to rain down on what happened here in Chicago. I hope everybody could see him in 3 or 4 years, winning seasons every year, potentially making the playoffs, making the Super Bowl. All I ask for is that he wins. I hope for the best for him. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that it was a bad move to get rid of him. You know, maybe Justin Fields has a better career than Mitch Trubisky, and it doesn't matter. Maybe both of them do well, and we don't have to talk about this anymore. But the point is, at this moment, Mitch Trubisky was unjustly run out of Chicago. He was blamed for the problems the Bears faced as an organization. Organization-wide problems were clumped and put on Mitch's shoulders. That's wrong. You know it, I know it. It's wrong. I'm really happy to see him get another shot. And I would hope that people feel the same way. No, a lot of people have come around, and that's good. I'd rather you come around than stay in your position about hating Mitch Trubisky. For those of you who still do, I ask you to reconsider, seriously. There's a reason why he was picked to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'll say this. It's a weak draft class, sure. And maybe there aren't as many free agents as teams would have liked. But you know what? It tells you something when a team like the Steelers especially are willing to sign Mitch and not even draft somebody. They're putting their trust in Mitchell Trubisky. Other teams were going to as well. That goes to show you, not a bad quarterback, not some crappy, low-quality bust. If he was a bust, he'd be out of the NFL, like Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf, and we could go on and on and on about it. It's obvious he's not a bust. The Steelers gave him a shot. They like him. They think he's going to be good. So, again, kudos to Mitch for everything that he's done to certainly repair his image, but also kudos to the Steelers for taking a shot on a guy that they certainly won't regret. And to everybody who still has some vendetta against Mitch, or I guess against me for talking about Mitch, it will be over for now. I'm not going to talk about Mitch anymore. The saga has really completed for the moment, but I will say one more thing. I would hope at some point you have it in your hearts to look past what happened here in Chicago, realize it wasn't really his fault, and root for him and his new organization. Nothing wrong with wishing him the best after what happened here. I hope he kills it. Just like I hope Justin Fields kills it. I hope both them kill it, so we don't have to talk about this anymore or worry about the quarterback position. Whether you like Mitch or you hate him, though, just understand he was run out of here unjustly and wrongly. He was blamed for the problems the Bears had that were very deep, obviously. I mean, we're talking about George McCaskey, Ted Phillips, Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, and all of it's on Mitch Trubisky? No. Let's make sure we remember that before next time we decide to criticize him. Thanks for watching today's show here on BPON TV, channel 59.3 in Roku. Really appreciate the time. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you don't watch more of this show, search up Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or go to sportstalkchicago.com and tune in here every night at 10:30 on BPON TV. So long, everyone.